Hello everyone. I want to show you a hack. When you're making dinner during the week and you make those baked sweet potatoes, you know, the ones you leave the skin on and put in the oven with little sea salt and olive oil, make one extra. And then that way, when you have a little bit of time, you can make sweet potato muffins. So here's my potato. I'm going to show you how to make these today. So easy, so simple. I'm going to go ahead and get my apron on and I'll meet you over by where we're going to be preparing. All right, so we're back and I'm just going to show you, these are my muffin tins I've got ready. We've got our oven preheated. I'm going to switch views for just a second so you can see what we're working with. All right, so starting off today, we're going to get the sweet potato into a bowl. What we want is a cup of sweet potato. It's going to be really hard to, just kind of know for sure if the potato's the right size that you're using. I'm going to guesstimate a little bit because that's what I do. I'm using one medium sweet potato. And I'm going to say that that is at least a cup, if not a cup, a little over a cup. But that's okay. If they're a little dense, that's great. So the thing that we do is we start off by just mashing up that sweet potato after we've preheated our oven. And I want to show you some of the other things that we've got. I have some spices here that I want to share with you. Now, what this is, and I'll give you exact measurements when we put the recipe up, but it's kosher salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, ground cardamom, ginger, and we got them all mixed together here. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to get this right into our sweet potato. I know, look at that. Oh, that smells so good. I wish you could smell it, because I can already tell you that these are going to be amazing. All right, I want to mix that all up really good into my sweet potato. Next, we're going to be adding in some brown sugar. I packed that down pretty good. That was 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of white sugar. You'll just set those aside. We're also going to be putting in a cup of vegetable oil or canola oil. And we're going to mix this all up together. I'm using a fork. You could use a whisk, whatever you feel the most comfortable with. The important thing is to incorporate it all. Now that's already looking like really wet, right? Don't worry, we're even going to add in more liquid. We're going to be adding in 3 eggs. So let's go ahead and add in the 3 eggs and mix those up. And what I like about this recipe is you put the dry ingredients last. I am going to bring the whisk over as well, just so that I have it. And we are also going to grab, while we're doing that, some of the other tools that we're going to need to be able to work with this wonderful muffin dough. And I know I'm going to need an ice cream scoop. And of course, my ice cream scoop was in my dishwasher. My dishwasher is clean, so we're good. So I got the scoop out too. All right, next, let's go ahead and let's get the next 2 ingredients in, which is baking powder and baking soda.
We're going to just get those right onto the top. And now we're going to just start mixing this in. And now last, let's get our flour in. So we're going to be using a cup and 3/4 of flour. All right. Let's just get that all incorporated. Ooh, I'm making a mess. Maybe now it's not a good time for the whisk. Let's use the other spatula. In full disclosure, I am a cook, not a baker. But I do try to take on these projects because I want to show you how easy it is to just, when you're making that sweet potato that one night for dinner, just use it up and just throw an extra one in. That's really the idea of meal prepping. If you know you're going to be making, let's just say, big sweet potato and chicken and some greens one night, why wouldn't you just go ahead and throw one more potato in, and then just when it's cooked like everything else and cool, just throw it in the refrigerator. Use it up within 3 to 4 days and you'll be fine. So let's say you meal prepped on Sunday and, you know, on Thursday night you have a little bit of extra time. You could go ahead and make these muffins. Or maybe you had the sweet potato on Thursday night. You could make these muffins on the weekend and everybody would love them, wouldn't they? All right, enough said about that. That's the reason why we're making these. I can see that all my ingredients are well incorporated. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our ice cream scoop and we're going to scoop into our muffin tins. Just going to move this over here. There's one. Now I want them to be about at least 3/4 of the way full, because they are going to rise. But the ice cream scoop works fantastic. And just in time, my oven is preheated. That is wonderful. Now you could also make a bread, but the reason I'm going to show you how to make the muffins is twofold. First of all, it's almost back to school. And so this would be something nice that you could maybe put in a lunchbox, a sweet potato muffin. Very healthy and kind of dessert-like in a way. It is also only going to take 20 minutes to cook these when I put them in the oven versus a bread that might take up to an hour. So when I can, I like to do muffins. It might seem like, oh, a little bit of extra work, but if you use the paper liners, it's really not that difficult to clean this pan. And then that way everyone feels like they have a special treat to take with their lunch. If you don't use them all, well, you could certainly freeze them too. So that is another way of meal prepping, is by using the freezer. So we could take enough muffins out that we would have them once this week, and then maybe just go ahead and freeze the rest. All right. So I will tell you now that this will be enough to make more muffins. So I have made 12 muffins, but this recipe that I'm using will give you enough to make maybe 15 easily. So just FYI, if you have a muffin pan, another muffin pan, you want to make extras, you certainly can. I'm going to use what I can today. Sometimes I take extra dough like this and try to make pancakes out of it or do something fun. But I'll show you how much was left just so that you have an idea. I would say you have enough easily for 3 more, maybe 3 more muffins, right? So, FYI, we're making a dozen. All right, so now that these are done, if you have some of that beautiful turbado sugar, you could sprinkle them on the top here. I do not happen to have any of that in the house. I could take a little of regular extra sugar if I want. Maybe I'll do that just to give it a little extra sweetness on the top. See, I'll just do that since I don't have the fancy sugar. Just dig right in the sugar bowl so that they'll have a nice coating on the top. And now, yeah, some of it is going to sink in. I'm not too worried about it, but they'll be a little sticky on the top, which would be fun. Make them feel like they've got their own little topping. All right.
So they're going to go ahead and go into the oven for 20 minutes, and then we will show you what they look like when they've been completed. We'll just post that picture. So I hope you've seen how easy this is and that you may want to give this a try. And why not? Especially if you're a busy mom or a busy dad and you have a lot going on during the week, make that 1 extra potato. I think you've heard me say it 5, 6, 7 times. It's going to save you, and you're going to be able to make wonderful, budget-friendly muffins.
All right, so I wanted to show you how my sweet potato muffins came out using that leftover extra sweet potato. These are delicious. My husband came down and took 2 in case you're counting. Be like, there's 2 missing. And the reason that they're missing is he tasted one and he said, this tastes like Christmas. And he loves Christmas. So that means that they were good. All right, just wanted you to kind of see the finished product. Next time I wouldn't dump the sugar on top. If I didn't have the turbano sugar, I would just leave it off. They didn't need it. They were sweet enough. But we'll make these again. The recipe is going on the site. So remember, we had a little batter left over from our sweet potato muffins. We added a little bit of milk. And now we have made it sweet potato pancakes. I ate one. They're good. I'll show you the finished product in a minute. All right, here's the finished product. Pancakes. Voila. That's a winner. We're going to see what my husband thinks these taste like Christmas too.